in case anybody, for some reason, wants to watch. Okay, I have tweeted it, and there's no going back now. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, welcome to the SideQuest
That was awesome.
for May 23, brother. I'm supposed to do a presentation next week in a room full of automotive engineers, probably like 3,000 people. And it's only a 15-minute presentation, and then I'm thinking of doing the whole thing in the Hulk Hogan voice. Brother, I'm just going out there, brother, and talking about car design, dude, and taking
Listen up,
car,
brother. Listen up. What are you gonna do when SideQuest runs
I
wild
lifted
on
the
you?
1978 Pinto, brother, over my shoulders, dude. And I slammed it down. I'm Dolly Hulk Dimofsky. Joining me is John. I'm gonna just call you Mr. Negative, so I don't reveal your secret last name.
That's fine. I mean, it's not that much of a secret, but I mean, you know, people know my last name.
And it's actually John Johns.
It's actually John Johnson.
John Johnson, and John is your middle name.
My full name. But you know, I feel like SideQuesting needs to open with like an 80s guitar riff.
Oh, yeah.
And then like an 80s guitar riff, and then somebody saying like, you know, SideQuesting, you know, stuff like that. Like that would be peak in my opinion.
SideQuesting.
Yeah, something like that, you know. Maybe like a riff on the on that volleyball scene from Top Gun. You know, it's like that's, you know, podcasting with the boys. Yeah, that would be...
my Lord, Aaron Kelly has joined us.
Yeah, well, sorry, I'm 12 minutes late. I think I had to.
Coward.
That you coward.
Coward. I'll take you.
We should call everybody a coward from now on.
Coward. Sorry, we watched that right before we went live. We watched that old Alex Jones edited video where he's chasing the guy down the street. Aaron, you know what I'm talking about? And he's yelling.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Oh, it's so good. I love it.
Oh, good times. We are already off on a wonderful start here on the SideQuest, the pre E3 edition. We're gonna have quite a few things to talk about. A lot of Battlefield, and Blops Quattro and E3. But as we start every week, I'd like to get a little bit of a sense of who you are by totally judging you by what you're playing. And John, since you're this week's guest, let us judge thee based on what you are playing. What are you playing, man?
So actually, at this precise moment, I'm playing. I'm doing Iron Banner in Destiny 2. So judge me harshly. Mm-hmm. But for most of the week, since last Friday, I've literally played nothing but Hyrule Warriors on Switch.
Oh my goodness!
Which is just an absolutely phenomenal game. I'm in love, and I'm a huge. I didn't own a Wii U, but I'm a huge Zelda fanboy, and it's like literally the only Zelda-related game I never got the chance to play. So I cleared the campaign, and then I cleared the Wind Waker DLC. And now I'm doing adventure mode. I'm taking a break to grind out some Iron Banner gear. Although I find my ability to sit down for long Destiny play sessions is lessening as time goes on.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't know. Like I love the game, and I've been a defender of the game for a long time, but the game's just got problems. And honestly, I feel like there are more compelling experiences out there right now. You know, like
there's an article. There's an article somebody posted. I think it was yesterday. Actually contemplating: is this the end of Destiny? Can it be salvaged?
It can, and people are going to come back.
Yeah.
For like, you know, if the fall expansion, and it's not like there's nobody playing right now. I mean, there are on average 300,000 users are playing the game every day. So it's not like the game is dead. But
I bought it for $7 from Best Buy. I think a couple weeks ago, and I haven't cracked it open yet, but I will eventually.
I mean, you know, like it's not dead and it's not going to die, but there are fundamental changes that need to be made in the game, and they're being made, but it's coming a little slow for my tastes.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to get Comet supposedly this fall, and hopefully get a chance to see that at E3. But it's something that I loved the first Destiny. Actually, I loved all the betas of the first Destiny, the open beta or closed betas, open betas, alphas, just because everybody was playing at the same time. It was a lot of fun, and the game, the series, a game is right up my alley in terms of it not being a super hardcore shooter like the COD or a Battlefield Field, which we'll get into in a second here. But yeah, I haven't heard a single person talking about it recently. I think you're the first one in several weeks I've heard.
You asked us last week if anybody was playing Destiny because the Destiny news, and I think it was a unanimous nope.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's not surprising to me at all.
Yeah. It's but it comes and goes in waves. I will say that the last time Destiny, when Destiny 1, when the first Destiny was out, it didn't have the same kind of competition that with Fortnite and Overwatch, I guess, was still in its infancy. PUBG,
exactly. Yeah.
And so it's facing a very different type of gaming climate right now. And prior to Fortnite, PUBG, Overwatch, hero shooters and battle royale stuff, multiplayer online games were very much a specific type of game. So, and now it seems like those are just kind of falling out of favor a little bit. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they do going forward. So cool. All right. How do you feel like it's holding up visually compared to other games?
Oh, it's a beautiful game, and
Yep.
the particle effects in Destiny 2 were so much better than Destiny, OG Destiny, I guess you can call it.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny 1. And it's a beautiful game, and of course, nobody does first-person shooter gameplay like Bungie does. That's one thing that they have not lost their touch on.
Sure.
I mean, the game itself remains, like, from a gameplay perspective, it's just so eminently playable. It's such a blast to play and control. But at the same time, the Switch has very, very easily supplanted the PS4 as my preferred console this gen. And I just find that I'm an old school Nintendo guy, and there are far more compelling experiences on the Switch than on the PlayStation for me right now.
I want to ask you about Hyrule Warriors right now. I played it on the Wii U. I loved it. Went through it and thought it was the first Musou game that I got really into in a long time. I mean, I played Dynasty Warriors and other games like that in the past, but they became so samey. And throwing this Zelda glaze over it really kind of changed it and altered it. And I loved, back on the Wii U, I loved the boss battles in this because they were Zelda-ass boss battles. I mean, when you fight, was it the Dongo?
The Dongo, yeah.
When you fight, it's just like what I imagined in a more actiony Zelda game to be like, right?
Yeah. You got to throw the bombs in his mouth, just like And plus, there's enemies in Hyrule Warriors that we haven't seen in a mainstream or in a mainline Zelda game in a long time, like Dodongo, like Manhandla, like Goma.
The Goma battles are really cool too.
Yeah, and I'm a huge fan. I love it. In fact, I'm probably going to switch over to Hyrule Warriors here in a minute because now that we're talking about it, all I want to do is play it.
It's really kind of interesting for the Switch. I mean, obviously they're going through these re-releases to kind of flush things out until new games start dropping in the summer and fall. But it seems like these re-releases have been pretty much hits. I don't know if you played Tropical Freeze.
I did. I played on the Switch.
It on the Wii U.
I am very comfortable in saying that is one of the best platforming games I have.
Totally agree. I was so surprised by that game when that first came out because I wasn't. I was angry at Retro for making a Donkey Kong Country game again instead of Metroid Prime 4. But then I played it and realized, holy shit, this is a fantastic game. But Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze outsold the Wii U version. Bayonetta 1 and 2 on the Switch outsold the Wii U version. Hyrule Warriors, the Definitive Edition, I don't know how it'll do, but I wouldn't be surprised if it outsells the Wii U version. And it's been surprisingly effective, mostly because people did not pick these games up on the Wii U, so it's everyone's first time at some of these. So, did you play Captain Toad on the Wii U?
I did actually.
Okay.
I did because my good friend Susan Arndt sent me her Wii U.
Great. Yeah.
And she sent me her Wii U in a few games, and Captain Toad is one of them. And that game is, no pun intended, a treasure. And I will be picking it up. So fantastic. I'll be picking that up in July. Yeah.
Yep. Same here especially for the Odyssey levels added onto there. But Hyrule, did you play Fire Emblem Warriors?
I did, and I wasn't the biggest fan, simply because I don't feel like those characters work well.
Right.
In a Muso setting.
So I almost wish. So I almost wish that. So they did some interesting things, just mechanic wise, that advanced that genre since Hyrule Warriors. So I'm curious to see. I'll probably get around to playing Hyrule Warriors on Switch at some point, but I'm curious to see how because it'll feel like I'm going back backwards a little bit. Well, I am, but I think mechanic wise, I think it'll feel a little bit in reverse. But does it still feel fresh now that you're playing it?
So far, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, man.
What else are you playing?
I picked up Mega Man the Mega Man collection on Switch. I haven't played it yet, but I'm an old school Mega Man fan, so I'll be dropping into that this weekend. And then Dark Souls Remastered is going to pretty much consume my life in the next few weeks.
After being on that panel.
Yeah. You know how I do it, man. You know how I do it.
You actually plan your gaming purchases months in advance by just being on panels.
I do, absolutely. That's how I do it.
Yep. Anything else you're playing?
No, that's pretty much it right now.
Okay. All right. Aaron, you are playing something kind of interesting, you said. If you're there, you're muted.
He's gone. He decided I was talking too much.
There you
are. So I've been playing this early access game called Worlds Adrift. And when I say early access, I'm not talking like Rust early access where the game is there and they're just still in early access for whatever reason. I'm talking like it's been less than a week since it's been available. It's a version 0.2.0.8 or something like that. Mm-hmm. Like it's way early access. And what it is it's you choose a server, you spawn into a world, and it's all these different like little designed floating islands, and you like cut down trees and mine rocks and use the minerals in the wood to build an airship. And then you fly around in the airship and go from island to island, and there's like stuff to explore and research, and then you basically just fight each other. But the main selling point for me is that every player gets a physics-based grappling hook. And so it's just a right click to attach to anything with the grappling hook, and then you can swing with it. And because it's physics based, if you swing in an arc, you gain speed and you can launch yourself. So pretty much everybody I'm playing with uses the grappling hook, to climb up and down cliffs, to mine stuff, and that's and to keep themselves in place if they're on an airship and flying around and shit like that. I'm just
Is that the image in your background, by the way?
Yeah, it is. That's something I did a little while ago. Earlier today, I teamed up with a couple of random people to take down a PvPer, and that's the PvPer getting just decimated by our cannons. But so that picture probably doesn't do it justice. But the ship in front of me in that picture, like it's first person from my perspective. I'm on my ship. You can see my engine right there, and then way off in the distance is the people I teamed up with, and then even further in the distance is the ship we're blowing up. And just for fun, I grappled off of my ship and jumped off backwards, swung around my ship, let go of the grapple at the peak of my arc, launched myself through the air, grappled onto their mast, swung around sideways, and then launched myself onto the third ship off in the distance there to see if there was anything good worth salvaging.
Oh my God. How easy is it to aim?
To aim, it's surprisingly, you have a reticle in the middle of your screen that's like your cursor for everything. And if you can land your grapple on something, a circle will be around the dot that is your cursor. So it's not difficult to aim, but if you get too hitched up, your grapple will just let go. You take fall damage from everything. So if you even clip anything, all of a sudden you go flying. So it's difficult to master, but it's just ridiculously fun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Cool.
So I've been playing that.
It's like was it jungle? What's that? In like Indiana Jones in space or
in the skies.
in the sky, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just,
I've been playing a lot of that. I bought the game like I just want to check here just to make absolutely sure. I'm pulling up Steam now. I want to see how many hours I've got into it. So I bought the game like 3 days ago, I think, and I've got 47 hours into it.
Damn. Holy shit, dude!
Yeah.
Are you just leaving Steam on and walking away?
No, I'm playing it at work.
Oh, okay. That's fantastic.
Fucking MLG over here, man.
And then the other thing, so that's pretty much all I've been playing. The other thing I attempted to play was State of Decay 2. I bought it last weekend. I bought the regular edition. So it was only available to play yesterday, Tuesday, for non-pre-orders, and I can't install it. Microsoft won't let me. You have to install it through the Microsoft Store app, and when I try to sign in, it says there was an error, sorry, or it says this isn't a Microsoft account. As I'm signed in on the website, clicking the install button from my account, which is prompting the store to pop up.
Oh my god,
that's garbage.
Oh.
But so
freaking that sucks. Yeah, there's you're not the first person to mention issues with installing the game, because I've seen a couple folks say some similar things.
Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to give it a shot, but I mean, at this point,
anything else?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I've been playing. I played a little bit more Conan, but we talked about that last week. I've been playing a little bit of GTA 5 online still. I think that's it.
You're the one. Nobody plays that game. Good lord. What's GTA 5 online? What is that?
You know, I think it's the
biggest game
ever, greatest selling revenue generating thing of all time.
Yeah.
What is it, like $95 billion or something?
It's not a good game though.
Yeah. I don't like most of the game, but I like the races. Like all I do is play the stunt races.
The races are cool, yeah.
That's all I play. I don't run around. I've not done the campaign or anything like that. I did the intro of the story mode, so I could get access to online, and I haven't touched the campaign since.
I haven't played GTA 5 at all. I played GTA 4 quite a bit, but not GTA 5, and it's one of those games that should come to Switch. You'd think it would be like an easy port from the Xbox 360 version over to the Switch. I think people would definitely pick it up again to play on the go. But
I would be stunned if we don't get some Grand Theft Auto or like the first Red Dead Redemption on Switch. I would be very surprised.
Hopefully, we got a bunch of stuff happening at E3, which we'll talk about in a little bit here. But Tom is actually setting up, so he'll be joining us in a second. Until he does, I can talk a little bit about what I've been playing, which isn't a whole lot more than I spoke about last week. But I did plug through Runner 3. And I don't have my review up yet, but it should be up in the next day or so here. I know the game just came out yesterday, but it's a side-scrolling choice provisions rhythm action game. It's set to music. All your actions as you're running. For anybody that hasn't played a Bit Trip runner game, it is a endless runner, and your jumps and kicks and slides and everything has to be timed to the audio, or at least if you're good enough, you'll time it to the audio. That'll help you kind of gauge what you have to do and how to avoid obstacles in the level. It was much more of an audio-based game earlier on, the first runner game and even parts Runner 2. This has become more of an action endless runner style. But I really enjoy this game. I don't love it quite as much as Runner 2. I think Runner 2 was a leap, no pun intended, much more of a leap when it first debuted on the Wii U like 5 years ago, whatever it was. But Runner 3 is still a heck of a lot of fun. The difficulty ramps up so quickly in the game that you'll be playing it kind of casually. You can't really play this game casually because even if you're avoiding like all the collectibles and just trying to get through it as a fun type of game, you're going to be bouncing into obstacles and I think stairs and steps are the things that were my downfall nonstop in this game. And so I think one level that has sort of this stairs towards the end, you have to be absolutely perfect. This is all in the first world out of like 4 or 5 worlds, whatever it is. Like level 6 or something. You have to time your taps for the jumps absolutely perfect, or else you're going to tumble up the stairs and you're crashing. Your run will be over. It keeps an active counter of how many times you've died and replayed. 48 times I died and had to replay this stupid level because of this one little area. And I got so frustrated that
it's so bad.
It's so bad. And everything else I love about the game, except for these types of moments where it feels like you're on a roll and then it just literally jerks you out of the experience. So kids will not be able to play this game. At least I don't see how kids could play this game. They're better than we are, of course, but I don't see how younger kids, which easily the art style and the design, the feel is geared towards, will be able to handle these types of incredible, perfect precision, timed jumps and movements. But if you can, the game is so freaking deep, and the leaderboards are actually really good. It's one of the few games where getting the review copy, just a regular playthrough, your score is automatically tallied up and thrown in the leaderboards. And I was seeing all my friends on Switch who had review units uploading their scores, so it became kind of this weird reviewer meta game where we weren't just playing to review the game; we were actually actively going and trying to beat each other's score, which I haven't done that in a while in games. Like usually it's just, so and so is playing Runner 3, let me see where they got their score, no big deal. But the strange metagame, there were a lot of like bashing, trash talking and bashing tweets going around of people whenever they would pass someone or barely miss out on somebody's score. So that was actually kind of cool and a really neat way. There's only like 100 of us running through this game, and we were all, fighting for a few points here and there. So it was
for the 100 people all fighting for the chicken dinner. Like what?
Yeah. Well, no. It's you don't get anything by moving up the leaderboards. You just finish the level and move on. But the way the leaderboards are set up is right when you finish that level, it shows your ranking. I mean, this isn't anything new in gaming, but I think because of the relative how innocuous this game looks, it looks like a kid's game. I mean, you're throwing the score of your friends in your face to almost poke fun at how either bad you are or good you are, and it forces you to go right back into it and try to beat their score. So it's just kind of interesting. No one's actually facing off against each other, but it's added a kind of a cool level of asymmetric gaming where you're just score hunting to beat your friends. So that was really cool, from just kind of this fun little score hunting thing. I like I mentioned the previous week, I played Vectorium, which was a stick or vector-based, asteroid-style shooter, and couldn't care any less about the the leaderboards and the scores, mostly because I didn't know a single freaking person on there, and they were getting these scores right away that I had no idea how to get to. Maybe that's how. Maybe the things are different with Runner 3 is because I can mentally figure out how I can get a better score without even playing. Just by seeing the scores that they have, you can almost kind of plan ahead. So, anyways, that I enjoyed the heck out of the game, and I'll be playing it for a while longer, obviously, to unlock all of the things like Charles Martinet and Martinet and a bunch of other things. Sorry, spoiler, but I think they actually made a big deal about that. And it's just that some of these levels they're impassable, for the casual gamer. Hey, everybody joining us also right now is that one Tom Johnson. And he's gone. That mother. He did not like that intro. Tom Johnson joined group chat. Tom Johnson left group chat. Well, I got a surprise for you, Tom. We don't care. Oh, he's probably having issues getting online. It's a connection issue. So yeah, I've been playing that, and I'm still plugging through Dad of War, which is phenomenal. Right now, it's tough to knock that game off my my mental game of the year list. Sorry, Sam. I know you had issues. Sam, God, Scratty Bones. Aaron, you had issues with the with kind of some of the initial boss fights and the Zerg rush,
the combat.
But from everything I've played so far, it's been pretty awesome. It's gonna be tough to beat it. And although I say that now, and it'll get beaten by the end of the year when we hear more about everything that's coming at E3 and all of these rumors that keep bubbling up more and more. I just saw a lot of stuff from the E3 Judges Week was last week, and people posted a bunch of the previews towards the end of last week after we recorded at the beginning of this week. So there could be some good competition for Game of the Year from what I'm seeing. But yeah. So until Tom gets back online, that's all I've been playing. Actually, no, I take it back. I have been playing, I think the game is called, I'm going to mobile game of the week. The game is it's by Tap Blaze, and I think it's called Good Pizza, Great Pizza. Yeah, Good Pizza, Great Pizza. And it's you run a pizza shop, which has always been a dream of mine. And it's just so stupidly dumb and easy. It's the perfect bathroom game because we don't get reception in the stalls in my office, and so I can't play anything online when I'm in there. I can't tweet. So now I play this pizza game, which you don't need any connection for. God bless game companies who create games that you don't need to be connected online all the time to play.
It's a dying art.
It totally is. It totally is. Totally is. Well, let's talk a little bit about news before we dive into some of the E3 predictions from John. I know we did our E3 predictions last week, which everybody loved, and I'm sure you all heard them and told us how wrong we are. But we figured John would love to hear some of his thoughts about the upcoming big show, which is a couple weeks here. But we do have some fun things. Tom Johnson's back. Let's see if he actually stays online. Now, we can't hear you, Tom. You got to plug something in. Oh, I think he's just mouthing "Go F yourselves, incels." Is that what he's doing? But I do want to get into a couple of things here, and one being the big one being the reveals of Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and Battlefield. As
all right, the power's on. Can you hear me?
There we go. Because both those games were revealed in the last week. So let's before we do that, Tom, how's it going? Doing all right?
Great. Yeah.
Did you take a nap?
I did take a nap.
Dude,
I hope you feel better. I hope you feel better.
I ate some really bad pizza.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
It's funny because I get home from work today and I've been pulling some stupid late nights and decided at like 6:30, I'm gonna take a nap. Fell asleep on the couch and I wake up at 8:45.
My man.
Literally 50 minutes before the show, freaking out, forgetting that I had the podcast set up for. So that's why nobody got information or tweets or anything from me that the podcast was starting until quite literally like 2 minutes before the show started.
Yeah, I feel that.
Here we are. Did you play anything this week, Tom?
No, I actually didn't. Wow. I've been very light on game stuff. I got a code from Mother Gunship today. I'm going to play that.
Cool. All right,
I played that at PAX. You could like put guns on more guns. You could put like a shotgun on like a rocket launcher and then also bolt on like a machine gun. So that's a pretty cool game for when I played it like PAX for 2 years in a row. But yeah,
all right,
not much.
Yeah, it's funny is a lot of PAX stuff is releasing right now in the lead up to E3. So we're getting all these codes or requests for codes for like all the games we saw, and there's like no time to play them. Yeah. Which is kind of crazy. It's oopsie, guys. We're going to dive into Battlefield 5 and Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and chat about the craziness surrounding both these games. So I'm going to go over just the absolute briefest of notes, and then we'll kind of have a little bit of an open discussion. Let's see. Call of Duty is Black Ops 4 ditches the single player campaign and focuses on an always online, persistent multiplayer co-op experience.
Please, Dally. It's Blops Quattro.
Blops Quattro. Thank you. Blops Quattro. Yes. A multiplayer online only experience. And it features a battle royale mode called Blackout and zombies. And And for the first time ever in a Call of Duty game, we're going to release more zombie content at the beginning of
Yeah, they tripled down on their worst mode. So
yeah,
good on
boots.
them.
It's boots on the ground again. Boots on the ground.
See, here's the thing. They said, "Oh man, is there rocket jumping?" And everyone hatefully screamed, "No!" And then they, "Is there this?" And everyone screamed, "No!" They're like, 100% boots on the ground. And they immediately showed a guy like zip lining across with a grappling hook. I'm like, "Motherfucker, your boots are not on the ground.
Your boots are in the fucking sky right now."
Like you're doing the same thing you're talking about not having, but just doing it in a different way. Like, my dude.
Dude, and I will say that, so the initial thoughts, that was one of the worst Call of Duty reveals, one of the worst gaming reveals in a long time. It answered all the wrong questions for the game, and they didn't put a lot of clarity into a lot of the questions people had going into that, which you can answer if you're a dev or PR person. Just keep your ears open, ears to the ground, not the boots to the ground. But I think what summarized the entire event for me was the one dude screaming in glee the word Blackout, which is Call of Duty's version of Battle Royale.
So everyone's just going to be Captain Price, right? Like it's going to be 100 Captain Prices dropping into an island.
Basically, yeah. You can play as your favorite characters from Call of Duty history.
I want to be Soap. That was a Call of Duty guy, wasn't it?
Oh, Soap. I remember Soap.
McTavish.
Ghost. You could be Ghost.
all those memorable characters.
You don't remember Ghost? Ghost had you be first person burned alive in a ditch with gasoline.
I do remember that.
Which guy gets to wear the Achilles suit?
Price and Soap.
Price. Okay. It's nice that everybody has just a single syllable name. Soap, Price, Ghost.
Please call him by his first name, his full name, his Christian name, Soap McTavish.
Soap McTavish.
Please. But here's the thing about like Blackout is like, cool, you're doing a battle royale mode. It's probably going to be different because of the way your game works. But like there's talking about, oh, it's like so many times bigger than Nuketown, which I mean, Nuketown is the size of my fucking bedroom. So good on that. But
you do have a giant ass bedroom, though.
I do.
Your orgies are
Nuketown is small. Nuketown is small enough that in a full standard size lobby, you can throw a grenade towards the center of the map, and you're guaranteed to kill 3 people.
But also that game isn't made for range. Like Call of Duty is like by its very nature like a very close encounter game. So I'm curious how they're going to make like that type of experience work in a bigger map. Like I would have fully expected Battlefield to be the one to do it well.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting to me is the way that Battle Royale modes work is because they're a little bit more lighthearted than the rest, than like other standard first-person shooters. Call of Duty tends to take itself way too seriously. Battlefield take itself seriously.
I don't know if I would agree with that with Battlefield.
Okay, but PUBG, Fortnite, there's a reason that they gear more towards the younger player. Like my daughter, every kid in her class, my daughter's 8 years old, all the 8, 9, 10-year-old boys and girls are playing Fortnite. I mean, it's an epidemic.
Which is my son loves. That's all he wants to play is Fortnite now. Fortnite. And that's all kids at school talk about.
I will not be letting him
brought this up during the launch. I'm sorry to interrupt, but this is like very pertinent to this. Is like the core. I guarantee you, if you made a Venn diagram of all of the people who were super into zombies and all of the kids who are super into Fortnite, that diagram is a goddamn circle.
Yes.
So I don't think those kids who are super into Fortnite now that used to be all about zombies, because like I have to do a lot of stuff. I used to have to do a lot of stuff about zombies for work, and all the kids making videos about that and watching videos for that are like, they're kids. And now all those kids have transitioned to Fortnite. So I don't think that like they're going to be taken away from Fortnite for zombies again.
I'm glad you're bringing this up because it does start to feel like a completely missed opportunity. I'll say it this way. I actually don't have a problem with my daughter and like her friends playing Fortnite because it is sort of cartoony.
It's like it looks like World of Warcraft the shooter.
Exactly. But there's no way I'm going to let my kid a preteen play Call of Duty just because I know how
McTavish is probably a good dad.
He's probably. I mean, they're all great parents. They all put time and effort into serving. But I don't think I'd want my kid to play something that's as realistic, I guess. So to your point, Tom, is the audience that maybe Activision is gearing for is going to be more adult heavy now, just because the nature of the Call of Duty name and
the fact that Fortnite's free, Black Ops 4 are $60 goddamn American dollars.
Now, what if I told you 3 zombie maps at launch?
I tell you, it's 3 times as bad as all of the other zombie games. That means, although I will say, as someone who doesn't give a shit about zombies and hates it from the inception, that like Gladiator version looks really cool.
That is true. Yeah.
That looks kind of cool. I'll give that a try.
So they have almost like little story maps for zombies, right? Yeah, the Gladiator. They have the cruise ship.
Yeah, and they're introducing bots and like story stuff into those, as if to say like, "Hey, this is the single player now. You can play it alone." And I'm like, "Go fuck yourself, dude! Like, no,
stop trying to kid me." It's
like, just say we couldn't make a thing in time. It would have been ready for launch. And so this time next year, when they're announcing a new one, and people are complaining that they wanted a single player campaign, and we listened to your feedback, and now we have a thing. Because if you phrase it that way, it's always positive. It always looks good to shareholders. It's always good, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
They did good by WW2, World War II, which was by for all accounts actually a kind of truer return to form for Call of Duty. Yeah, it was very classic. I enjoyed my time with the game. I've forgotten about it since then because of things like Fortnite. It was
so boring, that game.
Yeah, but
hold on. Which game was this?
World War II.
World War II.
I mean, most Call of Duties are boring.
I don't know, man. Those campaigns are really good. Did you play Black Ops 3? It's basically RoboCop, and then there's a part where you jack into someone's head and you have to fight through World War II battlefield with robot weapons.
I remember playing. I got up to the point where the guy he basically pulled a Ron Burgundy. I think it was Hendrix was his name, but he's like, "Oh, this candy bar is delicious, but it is filling," and then he threw it out of the plane, and I was like, "I'm done."
That game actually rules. That game is really good.
I'd love for them to actually go for like a more humor, dumb based Call of Duty game.
You don't want to hang out with Robo Maloney?
That'd be great.
Maloney. Isn't it the one where Christopher Maloney was like Train Go Boom?
Yeah, pretty much. He was like the bad guy.
Was he the bad guy though? I never finished the game.
Yeah, he became the bad guy.
Did he?
Yeah, and then like they bring you through like the train thing again. And it's kind of like the movie Source Code, and they bring you through other stuff. Like it's basically taking a bunch of weird sci-fi movies and just turning it all into one.
You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
That game's cool. I reviewed that game when it came out, and I was all about it. I still think it's one of the better ones.
One of the most jarring things about that game was the fact that the game itself was a smooth 60 frames a second, but the cutscenes were all 30 frames a second.
Yeah, it's weird. Like
that was so weird. Yeah,
for a studio that prides itself on being 60 frames all the damn time and hitting it almost constantly in a way that's pretty impressive. Like the fact that it would drop to half for cutscenes was so weird.
And so let me ask you this then: like, are you gonna skip Blops 4?
So I live in a boy house, so I'm probably just going to borrow someone else's copy, try it for a little bit, and then give it right back.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're playing Call of Duty for the campaign, then there's really no need to. Yeah. Like if that's what you're interested in, there's really no need to pick up Black Ops.
For me, it's a dumb action movie that I get to experience once a year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like that's pretty much like I don't. People are way too good at the multiplayer, so it's very much I spawn in and I'm dead. Like,
oh god, that's always been a barrier for me. Yeah.
Yeah. And like it's not like the gameplay isn't like the only shooter in the last few years that really grabbed me multiplayer wise was Titanfall 2, and this is not Titanfall 2. So
God,
Titanfall 2 is so good.
That is legitimately one of the best first person shooters I have ever played. And that one level of the campaign with the
time one,
the time bending mechanic. Oh, I mean that That 30 minutes, just a masterclass in level design.
It's like they to talk about Titanfall 2 and derail this conversation again. That whole game was like, oh, we have a bunch of cool ideas, and we're only going to use an idea if it's cool, and we're only going to use them long enough for you to say, yeah, that was pretty awesome, and then we're going to throw it away and never touch it again, so it doesn't have to stay its welcome. It's such a cool game.
I want an entire game based around that time jumping mechanic.
Yeah, I'd fuck with that.
I want it. Yeah. Imagine like a BioShock game using that.
Oh, geez.
That'd be pretty cool.
Or or you know what? Put them in charge of like a first person. You know what? I love when when companies take risks. I love when developers take risks. Like imagine like a first person Prince of Persia done by Respawn.
Yeah, they can do it. You know, I do it. But I think, what are they working on now? They're working on a Star Wars game, right?
They're working on a Star Wars game, right? Yeah, I think. Yeah, Titanfall 3 is not a thing, right? Like that's
they've said they're still committed to Titanfall after they sent it out in there. Like they absolutely
they sent it out to die.
They sent it out.
They sent it out. Yeah. Like their gambit worked. Like what they were trying to do absolutely worked. Was their fucking strategy was to release 2 games at the same time of Call of Duty to make people fucking not buy Call of Duty, and it worked. And they even were like, "Yeah, that was our thing," and it was successful enough. But like, just make another Titanfall game, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think that franchise is dead.
Unfortunately, they had the great portable kind of strategy game.
Nah, man, Titanfall 2 is wildly popular in Asia right now.
Is it really?
I'm in our chat. I'm going to drop a picture in a few minutes, but it's like a free to play, like ultra customizable, like hero based, like weird game now. And it's kind of amazing.
You know what? Speaking of popular multiplayer games in Asia, one of the most popular games in Asia right now is Splatoon 2. Actually,
really? Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. Everybody in there. I mean, why do you think it's? I mean, you know what? With the Octo expansion, and I mean, just look at the Japanese sales of Splatoon 2. It's bonkers. It's fucking bonkers.
Week, yeah. Every week, it's like the top 3 games.
And it deserves it too, because it's my. I mean, people laugh at it. It's my favorite multiplayer game this gen.
Yeah, I think it might be mine.
You've got like a million hours in that fucking game.
Yeah, well, I do. Well, that's not even me. It's my daughter. I just kind of watch her play. My version of Twitch streaming is watching my daughter play hours and hours of Splatoon every freaking week.
Oh, it's so good. I can't wait for God. The Switch itself is just so. I'm sorry, I'm derailing it, but now I'm back in my Hyrule Warriors bullshit. Like as so now I'm just gushing about my Switch.
So it's gonna be. I say that one of my favorite lines to say is it's going to be interesting to see, and it sure as hell is going to be interesting to see what happens to Call of Duty going forward, because I was not impressed with Blops 4. I did not like Blops 3. To be honest, because it was so co-op heavy and online, I could never find people to play with and join me, and the structure didn't seem quite all that great. Blops 2, probably my favorite Call of Duty game of all time is Blops 2.
Blops 1 is fucking phenomenal.
Blops 1 is pretty phenomenal too. Which one was the one on Switch? Was Blops 1 and Blops 2 on Switch?
You mean Wii U?
I mean Wii U, yeah.
That was Blops 2.
Blops 2, okay. Yeah, I mean, I actually played on Wii U, and it was surprisingly great on that, too.
So I dropped an image in chat that I'm also going to tweet out so other people can see it, but that's one of the promo ads for Titanfall Online in Korea, and it's got like a cool like cat robot, and it's got like one of the pilots is like Iron Man and McCree melded into one dude.
Awesome.
Like I'd fuck with that game hardcore.
Totally.
Instead of just having like my Buffalo Wild Wings skin that I got when that game came out.
You got the Doritos skin. Great. So let's move on to Battlefield 5 or V, which debuted actually. What's that?
That game looks whack.
Go ahead.
That game looks great.
It looks so boring.
It looks terrible.
It's like we're stressing realism and gritty, intense, like reality, and it's like, okay, so you're in this building and there's a man with a katana on his back, and then you dive out of a window. Like, remember that awesome part? And like they're like, oh yeah, we took a heavy inspiration from Saving Private Ryan. And as they were saying this on the stream, a man jumps out of a second floor window, lands on their back. 2 tanks whiz through the house and go on either side of them, and then they pick up a machine gun and start shooting dudes from the back of a motorcycle. I'm like, all right, guys. Like, I'm glad you guys are going for something else, but also this is not.
That was totally Saving Private Ryan. Don't you guys remember that scene?
Yeah, I always consider Battlefield the more tactical and not twitchy game.
Well,
it's definitely not twitchy, but I don't ever think of Battlefield as being anything resembling realistic.
No, but did you see how fast everything in that trailer was?
Yeah, I don't know. The big thing that I took away from the trailer was, the part where right when it cuts to the actual gameplay, like from the cinematic part, and there's a grenade and the buddy throws it and then she shoots the grenade.
Yeah.
If they're cheesing the shots in that game so that you can actually do that reliably, that changes shit.
Yeah. All the biggest takeaway I got from the whole reveal was me realizing that I don't need to go to EA Play this year.
The biggest takeaway I got is that people really don't like the fact that women are in that game.
Oh my god! And that they were like, "Oh yeah, you could pay $10 extra to get a white dude." I guess.
Like,
if they make a statue of that chick, though, I will buy it. Like, I will buy a statue of that lady.
I don't know.
She has an awesome design. I will buy the statue. I bought the Battlefield 1 statue a few weeks ago when it was on sale for like $11 on Woot. And I didn't realize that's a really nice statue. I'll pay full price for it.
It is actually. It's not bad. I don't know if y'all have seen my Twitter tonight.
Yeah, I have. I've been keeping track of it.
But man, I've been going in on people all just so butthurt.
You've been at it. You've been doing the Lord's work out there.
Just people. So many people. Like this one guy, right? Like this literally just happened while we were on the podcast here. Like I came across this one guy, and he says this. Right.
Does he have an anime avatar or an American or a bald eagle avatar?
He doesn't, but his Twitter page is covered with MAGA shit. He's retweeting like the Rational Mail.
By the way, we need to create an anime, like an avatar anime bald eagle, but throw in a bunch of fucking Easter eggs for people who just know that we put it up there to get.
I'm actually a student of World War II history. Like I have studied World War II my entire life. It's a hobby of mine. And so this guy says, here's a game I'd like to play. Oh yeah, name 3 from memory. Literally any 3 women who were in World War II in any way. Go. And I was like, all right.
Clearly, someone doesn't watch Drunk History and didn't watch the Ludmila Pavlichenko one.
So I quoted him and I said, okay. I said, Lyudmila Pavlichenko, sniper, 300 kills. Virginia Hall, spy. The Gestapo said she's the most dangerous of Allied spies. We must find her and destroy her. And then Nazeda Popova, who's a bomber pilot, flew 852 bombing missions. So I guess I win. Like that. I'm an idiot, and that didn't even take me 10 seconds. I mean, people. Here's the thing. I said this on Twitter, and I'll say it here. People. The reason that all these incels, and that's what they are. The reason all these incels are so upset about women being in Battlefield 5 is because their tits aren't hanging out. That's why. That's why.
Absolutely.
If the boobs were hanging out, people would be like, yeah, shit, yeah, bro. Like that's why people are upset. That's why people are upset. I love but it's not historically accurate. It's a fucking video game, dude. Like you're gonna complain about a woman in a video game that is not being realistically.
Did you see Jeff Grubb's tweet about like, oh, all these people complaining about historical accuracy missed this guy with a friggin' katana on his back?
Look, but it's not even that, right? Like I was like, the people complaining about historical accuracy in a video game are the same ones not complaining about the fact that you can have half a magazine in a first-person shooter. You fucking when you reload it. It magically fills half your fucking mag without losing the rest of those rounds. I mean, don't fucking talk to me about
I don't know about you guys, but one of my favorite things about World War II was that humans were actually able to regenerate health by standing in place.
My favorite part of World War II is when people would regularly throw a grenade and someone else would shoot it midair and it would explode over people.
I remember getting so upset when I was playing BioShock Infinite, and I replenished my health by rooting around in the trash can and finding hot dogs and popcorn and candy bars. And I remember thinking to myself, man, that is not a realistic depiction of what happens when you get shot. Like, think of how many kids, think of how many people have been shot, and then instead of getting medical assistance, immediately went to the trash can and found a Snickers bar. Like, Oh, it's terrible.
Do you guys remember when Dwight D. Eisenhower jumped out of that second floor window and landed on his back and avoided the katana guy, and like tanks like drove over him, but then he got up and like jumped on the tank and then like single-handedly blew up like 6 tanks. That was pretty awesome. I love World War II.
I do remember that. That was
yeah. I mean, we were there, so
that was like a week after Normandy. Everybody thought that was going to be the big thing, but
we lost so many good men. Like, and then but there was another really good one that I saw earlier today, and oh god, where is it? I gotta find it on my Twitter feed. But yeah, here it is. This one guy, no bullshit. He says, "Imagine being so far up your own ass, you need to insult the brave men who suffered and died to keep freedom alive with your dumb forced diversity." And so I quoted him, and I said, I asked the brave men who suffered and died in World War II, and they said, "Son, what the fuck is a video game?" It's like, it's the brave men who died and suffered. Oh my god! You know, I'm 37 years old, right? And
you're just a baby, man, just a baby.
So here's the thing: like, I'm 37 years old, and my mom says that, you know, John, you're a grown man, and video games are childish and silly. And looking at this, I can completely understand why she would think that. I get it. It pains me to say it, but I completely get why people would think that.
Just that reaction, man. Whew.
Well, and the thing is that like without even realizing it, these people are marketing the game far better than DICE ever could.
Yeah,
because people are talking about it.
Yeah. I do want to mention a couple of the mechanical things that are going to be changed in this from previous Battlefield games. So they did make a big deal about there being a single player mode, which I thought was pretty funny. There is no 100-player battle royale mode. Shocking. But there are also no microtransactions. It's going to be more of a live service style game, kind of like what we were just talking about with Splatoon 2 and Division and things like that, where you're not buying a season pass. You're just constantly, the multiplayer options are being updated and modes are being adjusted and things are being added every few weeks instead of big DLC drops and things like that. And I think the reason that they mentioned that is, or they mentioned that they wanted to make sure that people aren't so divided. You tend to divide player bases when you do have stuff like season passes and for online multiplayer, your player bases get shrunk each time you do something new. So just keeping it as sort of a live service helps in that respect. And there will be kind of buildable fortifications. So the only thing that may be actually borrowing from Fortnite isn't the Battle Royale mode, but the ability to build little fortifications in some of the modes that, even stuff like as simple as like trenches and like sandbags could help, kind of modify some of the actions. So
what kind of cool jackets can I buy?
Yeah,
that's what I want.
I don't know, man. What's the Best Buy pre-order bonus?
I don't know.
Both of these games, Blackfield. Oh god, that's actually an awesome name for a game. Blackfield. Black Ops 4 and Battlefield 5 launch within essentially a week of each other.
As usual.
If you get the EA Access early trial, you can play Battlefield the day before Black Ops 4.
Yeah, that's incredible.
I also just want to point out that Blackfield sounds like the name of like a British villain from the 1800s.
Blackfield is actually...
Mr. Holmes, it's Lord Blackfield.
Blackfield sounds like an out of America version of Area 51.
Blackfield is actually a British art rock band. So, yeah,
that's awesome.
I think we may have just come up with the best game ever.
And their fifth album is actually called Blackfield V, for what it's worth.
Yeah, really? Holy shit!
So, what do you think the odds are on being able to, or even one of the pre-order bonuses being a gold paint job for your prosthetic arm in Battlefield 5?
You're going to be able to pay for a gold paint job, right?
Hey, I want to ask you guys about that. Was that a prosthetic arm or a fucking robot arm?
I think it was a prosthetic arm. It's got like it had like the clamp, yeah.
It was very Buster from Arrested Development.
It was well, no, it was almost like steampunk. I was like that's not like any prosthetic arm from that era I've ever seen. But
that lady had a really cool coat though, and I'm hoping I could buy more of those.
She did have a dope coat. I'm not even gonna lie.
I just posted a link. I was reading the Ars Technica breakdown, Sam Makovic's breakdown of the Battlefield V debut, and the leading comment is a dude that writes, "Did time travelers get plopped in the middle of World War II?" And the reply was, "History and logic is unimportant in the face of a diversity agenda." And then the final reply is basically, "Now with handy capable soldiers, because fuck ableism, war is for everyone." And then the last person replies with this image of a dude with a prosthetic arm and a sword and samurai gear, and it's pretty awesome. Yeah, God bless Charlie Incel for the bringing fun to online conversation about fucking video games.
The discourse.
Oh God Almighty. Well, that's Battlefield V and Call of Duty. We'll be seeing more of those at E3 in E3 weeks. Oh my God Almighty, E3 weeks. In fact, in 3 weeks, I'll be flying out of E3. Essentially, I'm only there for a couple days, but thankfully, I will say one thing though. Since we're on a subject of E3, a lot of stuff has been popping up and leaking, and we've talked a little bit about that last week. But I want to get John the opportunity to tell us some of the things a few predictions that he might have for the event. So the way we did it last week, John, was we each gave 3 predictions that were sort of normal, that, hey, I can actually see this kind of happening, and then one that was just fucking crazy. Can we change incel to rotundos?
Rotundo, what a guy.
Man, that's something else.
Oh, fantastic.
Did you see my favorite part with the Rotundo situation is he said that he sued Best Buy for making him work Saturdays and firing him when he wouldn't. And he sued them for like $250,000.
I haven't seen that.
Single-handedly taking down the brick and mortar companies.
It was him.
It was him. Just sue Best Buy. So I want to know your predictions. Any crazy predictions, John, that you might have for E3? And the closer we get to E3, all of these things are being answered ahead of time, surprisingly.
Okay, so right off the bat, I'll you know what? I'll give some predictions that haven't been leaked that I think are probably accurate. I think that we're going to get some Metroid Prime 4 gameplay from Nintendo, and I think you're going to get a 2019 release date. And I think right after that, they are going to announce the Metroid Prime trilogy for.
You have been so hard up. Campaigning for a HD trilogy.
I think we need it.
I mean, they're the only good Metroid game, so I'm hoping they come out.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck. Goodbye. I'm out. Oh, God. What the fuck? Screen your people better, Dolly. Screen your people.
Homeboy showed up like 40 minutes late because he was asleep on his couch from eating pizza. And you think I do a good job of screening people? Come on, John.
God.
Also, Breath of the Wild is the second worst Zelda game. So...
Oh my God! No. Okay, Dolly.
Majora's Mask is the actual worst.
Dolly. You know what happens now, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you just take over, man.
Coward! I know that I want to punch you in the nose. You don't beat your goddamn ass, you son of a bitch. You're an intellectual dumbass, and I'm coward.
I'm the bravest one here.
That's what happens every time I hear a negative opinion on this podcast. I'm playing 23 seconds of Alex Jones yelling into a camera. That's what I'm doing.
I get it. The truth hurts. It's hard to hear.
Oh my God. At any rate, I'm not going to dignify that with a response. But at any rate, I think we're going to get Metroid Prime Trilogy for Switch. Simply because, with Samus Returns really kind of brought Metroid back into the limelight, but I think a lot of people were disappointed, including myself, that it wasn't on the Switch. I mean, it was a fantastic Metroid game, but it should have been on the Switch. And so I think to alleviate that and to build hype for Metroid Prime 4, I think we're going to get Metroid, the Metroid Prime trilogy on the Switch, just like they did for the Wii, and I think we're going to get it soon.
Okay.
I think it's going to be one of those, like, if it's not available now, it's available like next week deals. You know what I mean?
Wow. Digital only, or you think they'll actually put a?
I think it'll be both.
Okay.
I think it'll be both. I think it's a thing. And here's the thing: I think there have been too many rumors about it for it not to be a thing.
It seems like it would be an easy fucking win for.
Oh yeah, and it'll sell well, and people want it, and it'll hold on, let me move the phone.
Yeah, you're phone here.
But it'll make people happy, and I think Nintendo is aware of that. I don't think Pokemon will be there because I think Pokemon's going to get its own thing.
Well, it is. It's on the 6th.
Is it on the 6th? Okay, well, never mind then. There you go. I was right. And then I think I am in camp. It's 100% real for Star Fox. You know, that sort of racing Star Fox game. Yeah,
Star Fox Grand Prix.
Star Fox Grand Prix. I'm on Team Real, and it sounds fucking dope. I don't care what anybody says. It sounds dope. I think that's real. I think you're going to get. Here's a prediction: Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition on Switch. I think that'll be revealed. Yeah. As far as go ahead.
No, speaking of that June 6th thing, that direct was from last year.
Oh,
Pokemon had a direct on June 6th, 2017.
Right. I think they're gonna drop something beforehand.
I'm
with him.
The rumor was there was going to be a direct like before the end of this month. Well, guess what? Unless it happens on Tuesday, it ain't happening because there's like no time left this month. But sorry, John. Go ahead. I got something to add to what you're talking about right now.
No, I was just going to say that. What the fuck was I going to say? I think you're going to get some Mario Odyssey DLC.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be like playable. It's either going to be playable Luigi, or a lot of the rumors were a Luigi's Mansion world, which would be fucking dope.
I mean, playable Waluigi. Let's do it.
I'd be all over a playable Waluigi. I'd be all about it. But I think Mario DLC. I think Odyssey DLC is on the.
It's so easy to slot into the game.
Oh yeah, I mean, all you got to do is just drop.
Found another world.
Yeah, hey, it's another world. It's the easiest thing in the world. And besides, like that game is selling like Grand Theft Auto. Like it's been in the top 10 every fucking month since it released, and it's usually in the top 5. So I think it's what sold like 10 million copies at this point. You're gonna get Mario DLC. I'll just drop a few more, and I'm mostly doing Nintendo simply because Sony is. I think we all know what Sony's gonna do, and I don't.
PlayStation 5.
No, that's next year.
PlayStation 4 Slim.
And I just really don't give a shit
4
about
Pro
what Xbox
Slim.
is gonna do. I think Xbox. I have heard from multiple people that Xbox is going to have a very uninspired, unexciting conference. And I believe them because these are people who have not been wrong in the past. I want them to have a good conference, but I have heard they're not going to. So. But just a couple more Nintendo predictions. What else? I think we're going to see Pikmin 4. I think we're going to see clearly Smash Brothers is going to be the highlight. Like that's going to be all over. That's going to take up a good 10 minutes of that conference.
So like every rumor that I've been seeing about Nintendo stuff in E3, and they're not all going to come to pass, obviously, but from the sound of things, 2018 and is going to include Smash Brothers, potentially Pokemon Let's Go, the next Pokemon game, Pikmin 4, Star Fox Grand Prix, and Metroid Prime Trilogy HD, all launching within the next like 5 months. And then 2019 is going to have Metroid Prime 4 and Luigi's Mansion and like a couple other things. They can't possibly put all this shit out there. I mean, it's not shit, but all these games out there that are that big. The company just doesn't do that kind of thing. If they did do that this year, then it would be a bigger year game-wise than 2017, at least in terms of the quality and the giant size of launches. And there's the whole Bayonetta 3 rumor for later this year, which I think.
Honestly, I think this year is shaping up to be bigger than last year. I mean, this year already, you've got fucking God of War, which is.
I'm talking about just for the Switch.
Oh, just for the Switch. I mean, it does seem like an abundance of riches. You know, and maybe Nintendo would be smart to parse some of these releases out if because don't forget you've also got, you know, Dragon Warrior coming out this fall. You've got I mean,
but that's for you mean Dragon Quest? Did you say
Dragon Quest? Dragon Quest. Jesus, I don't know why I said
Dragon Quest Builders.
No, Dragon Quest 11.
No, not for the Switch.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
PS4 only in the
That's
West.
not coming out for the Switch this year. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wrong.
But 2019, I see it coming out. Yeah. But you got Monster Hunter.
Yeah, Monster Hunter, and you know, here's the thing. Like I've heard a lot of people say it's going to be very hard to go back to Monster Hunter on, you know, a portable, as opposed to or after playing Worlds. It's not going to be hard for a lot of people. That game's going to sell.
If people started with World, it's going to be hard because as someone who played both of those games,
it's a different.
There are so many quality of life changes that make that game feel clunky and bad.
Oh sure, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just saying that there is enough of an audience on Nintendo consoles that want a Monster Hunter game that they'll fucking buy whatever with Monster Hunter on.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna sell and it's gonna sell well. I'll probably buy it.
You know, I almost wonder if this. So Resident Evil 7 is now officially on the Switch. You can download it from the eShop, the app, and play this
in Japan.
Apparently it runs like hot butt.
Yes. But I can see if they use that as sort of a proof of concept, you could potentially get PS4 level, you know, PS4, Xbox One level games on the Switch through this cloud streaming service. I wouldn't be surprised if Monster Hunter World down the line they stream that game onto the little portable.
I doubt any of those will be a good experience though.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Game service has been fucking garbage.
Yep.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I think on Twitter it was you, maybe Tom, earlier today who had pointed out that Capcom's got a massive booth.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something new, or is that Monster Hunter
bigger than usual?
Yeah.
And I have an appointment, and I don't know what any of the games I'm seeing are.
And they're new games. They're new games. They're
one of them's got to be remake too, right? Has to be.
The information that went out, like I don't know if Capcom mentioned or somebody mentioned it, that maybe it was one of those dumb leaks that kind of went through. But they have one giant unannounced game that coming out for like their prime game for later this year that they're going to be showcasing at E3. So when they had a booth this big last time, which was 2 years ago, they showed Resident Evil 7.
It was a big ugly house.
It was a big ugly house. So it's
got to be Resident Evil related. It has to be.
I don't know. So Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, those both came out in the last couple of years. Resident Evil 7 is still selling in a weird way. Because they're able to kind of milk that game, but I don't know if you want to.
What if it's a Devil May Cry?
That's what I was going to get to. It could very well be the Devil May Cry game that we're all kind of hoping for, because they don't have a lot of other big games. Mega Man isn't going to draw that size of a floor, but Devil May Cry will. By the way, you're probably going to be seeing Mega Man as one of those games, and then. Are you talking
about the new one, Mega Man 11?
Yeah. That doesn't. That big.
That makes total sense. Yep.
But I could see a Devil May Cry 5 or reboot or whatever you want to do taking up that space, especially if it could be launching later this year, because a lot of shit is moving into 2019. Publishers have like last week there was this immediate ripcord on delays, games being postponed or delayed into 2019 that were scheduled for like later this year that seemed like they were in you know a good path to get finished. So whatever, we'll figure that out, I guess. So so were those your sort of mundane ones? Did you have a crazy one?
Uncharted Golden Abyss on Switch.
I love it. You know what?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, you know, like if you want a really crazy, like a crazy one that's crazy but just viable enough, Return of Legacy of Kain.
Oh, okay, all right, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be cool.
That'd be so good.
I was gonna say, you joke about the Uncharted, on Switch, Golden Shower on Switch, but never forget that there was a Halo being developed for the DS way back when Microsoft had was just getting into gaming. I mean, the Xbox 360 was out, and Microsoft said, let's put a Halo game on DS because they had already been pumping out like I think Age of Empires and a couple other games on there. So could happen. You never know, but it won't. It definitely won't. And there is no. Treyarch even came out and said there's no Call of Duty coming to Switch. Sorry, guys. There's no single player mode. Nothing is coming. No Modern Warfare 2 remastered.
Oh man, I was looking forward to playing a modern shooter with Joy-Cons.
Yep.
Imagine Marcus Sellers was wrong. I can't believe it.
You do rip on that, but goddamn, if Doom doesn't play fucking awesome I loved it on the
Switch. Does it really?
I loved it. Did you play it?
No, I mean, I platinumed it on PS4, but I haven't.
It was great.
It's the worst version of that game, but it's not bad.
No, it's a great game, but I played the motion controls were really good on that thing. In multiplayer, motion controls were the way to play because it is closer to mouse and keyboard.
So here's my honest question then. Like I own it on PS4. I've platinumed on PS4. Is it worth the double dip on Switch if I can play my PS4 version whenever I want?
I just play the PS4 version.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't wait to see more of that Wolfenstein. That looks like
Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
Man, dude. Tom, we talked about this at PAX, right? Dolly,
it runs so bad.
It runs like butt. Yeah, I saw it. It runs like butt.
I am. So I love the Wolfenstein games. I didn't pick up 2 yet because I heard it was coming to Switch when they said at E3 last year, and so I'm.
Don't do that to yourself. Just pick it up on PS4, man.
The problem I have with getting a lot of these kinds of games on the PS4 is that I'm fighting for screen time with the family. Now that my daughter's gotten older, we only have like one. I mean, we have TVs in every single freaking room, and I'm not going to go out and buy another PS4 unless they announce a PS4 Pro Slim, and all of a sudden things will be changing.
With the daughter, that's the beauty of the Nintendo Switch. You pull it out of the dock, and then it's still a console.
Well, exactly. And so my wife will watch TV. That's the whole purpose of me playing games on the Switch is I can actually play Wolfenstein and Doom and things like that. So I think I'll end up picking it up for the Switch because I'll finally be able to get a chance to play it. I zipped through Doom on the Switch because I could, when it wasn't logged into the TV, plugged in the TV, I could just pull it. I could pull it out in my house and lay on the couch and play with it. And I was able to play Doom really quickly, which is what, like about a 15-hour game. Meanwhile, Wolfenstein: The Old Blood is only like a 6-hour game, and that took me about 2 months to get through because I had to fight for TV time until at like midnight. So,
see, here's my question, right? Like this is kind of my dilemma right now. Is I love my Switch, and I want to play everything on my Switch. If I could play everything on my Switch, I would. So Dark Souls comes out on Friday. Dark Souls Remastered, and as you guys know, I'm a huge Dark Souls fanboy, right? But I don't know if I should pick it up on PS4 or just wait for the Switch version and get it there. Just so I could fucking play it in bed or on the couch or on the john or fucking wherever I want. So
I'm waiting for the Switch version only because I don't. I have a giant pile of games to play on the PS4, Xbox One. So I'd rather get through those first. And plus Detroit comes out, and I'm actually more and more intrigued in that game. But it concerns me that they delayed the Switch version. It just must not have been running well if that was the issue. I mean, they had it playing at PAX.
Apparently, it's running pretty good. Actually,
is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure why they delayed it, but
it was fine at PAX.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I know people who have played it, and they're like, "That's running fine." Like it's 30 frames a second, but it's a solid 30 frames.
So then I wonder if it's content or something that they're adding. By the way,
I have a feeling it's the online functionality. To be perfectly honest,
could be the Amiibo just went back on sale on GameStop.
Yeah, it's on GameStop. Oh, I've already pre-ordered it.
Okay. It's me. Thank you, Wario64. All right. Anything else E3 related before we sign off for the evening? Any other things to say, people? Anything else to declare?
No.
Good. Well, everybody, it's been a fantastic show. We've got a bunch more podcasts between now and E3. Got some good guests next week. We got a good one that I don't want to say his name just yet until it's confirmed, but it should be a fun one. And then we got a bunch more leading up to the big show, at the show, after the show. We're doing these more regularly. You can find us at sidequesting.com, on iTunes, I think we're on Spotify now. I'm not 100% sure about the check. Google Play, all those other ones. You can find us individually at SideQuesting is our Twitter, SideQuesting TV on the streamings. I'm individually at Dolly Domofsky on everything. Scratty Bones, where can we find you?
You can find me twitter.com at Scratty Bones. You can find me Twitch/Scratty Bones. I got all the info right here.
You can see here all of Aaron's info there.
You can find me blowing people up in Worlds Adrift.
There you go. Tom, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at that Tom Johnson.
Excellent. And then at Because Video Games on Twitch.
No, I traded it for videogames.pizza. So that's back to right.
Nice.
You can find me at that Tom Johnson on Twitch as well.
John, where can we find you?
You can find me on the Twitters at Mr. Negative with an M. And you can also find me playing online, playing that Switch goodness.
And you can listen to the Super Deformed Gamecast.
Oh, that's right. We have a podcast.
Come on, man.
Shit. Yeah, no.
I'm teeing that one up for you.
We do have a podcast. You can catch us on Twitch, twitch.tv/official_SDGC. And then we archive all of our podcasts on YouTube and iTunes and SoundCloud. Beautiful. So if you guys would go give us a sub, we'd appreciate it. We got some pretty good guests coming up. My buddy Mike Huber from Easy Allies will be on the week after week 3. That'll be his 4th time on the show.
Nice.
I don't know why he keeps doing this to himself.
Sucker.
But yeah, I know. Little does he know. But yeah, no, it's good times. And Matt Piscatella will be on tomorrow night to do the MPD.
Cool. Matt's a good guy. All right, everybody. We'll see you in the next SideQuest. Thank you very much, brother.